first place winner receiving $25,000 first place prize in the fifth anniversary Richards Barentine competition is We Do Good from San Diego State University.
Thank you and good afternoon. My name is Peter and I'm representing World Entrepreneurs Do Good. Our mission is to decrease poverty in Ethiopia by improving its agronomic practices. Today I'm going to talk about 4 things. First is a rewarding opportunity for social impact. 2 is our distinct innovation. 3 is our amazing investment opportunity. And 4 is our qualified management team. But first, I'd like to start with a short story about our founder, Gemechu Abraham. Gemechu was given the opportunity to visit Ethiopia, one of the most impoverished nations in the world where 1/3 of the country lives in poverty.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space with the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way.
Upon arriving, Gemechu's grandparents took him to the small farming village of Simbo, where he witnessed this poverty firsthand. Students were crowded into makeshift huts built with sticks and covered in tarp. Another classroom, it consisted of a tree and simply the shade it could provide. This was actually the same tree his grandparents stood under when they were kids. He was in such disbelief that as a result, he raised the capital to build modern educational facilities to these surrounding villages. But throughout this process, he noticed something else. He noticed many kids were missing class because they were needed at home on the farm during the harvest seasons. He visited one farmer who's been harvesting a grain called teff for many generations. Teff requires a process called threshing, which is typically done by large, expensive machines. But unfortunately, most of Ethiopia's teff farmers are small scale with limited access to power grids. They must resort to century-old techniques, such as beating the teff against the ground and using cattle to trample the grain back and forth until it's free. This creates a mixture of dirt, rocks, and animal feces, and is the most time-consuming process for a teff farmer. In the end, he noticed 4 things. He noticed an inefficient and unsanitary way to harvest teff. He noticed a child falling behind in school, and he noticed a family that would most likely remain in poverty. But the 4th thing he noticed, and most important, was opportunity. So let's talk about this opportunity. Teff is being hailed as the new quinoa. When compared across the board, it rates higher in every nutritional value. It's also a wheat substitute, so it can be used in a variety of different foods. And moreover, teff is gluten-free, perfect for those with celiac disease and gluten allergies. In the past 5 years, the international demand for teff has risen so high that Ethiopians can no longer afford the main staple of their own diet. And as a result, an export ban was in place and is still there today. This did bring the price of teff back down, but even at local demand with current supply, only half of Ethiopians can afford it. So over the past 2 years, we've been working very hard with a group of San Diego State engineers to develop an innovative solution for these farmers. So I'd now like to introduce Mirga. Mirga is a man-powered teff threshing machine designed to be efficient, affordable, and portable. Near the base, we have our treadle pump that engages our drivetrain. At the top are specifically engineered threshing blades designed to comb through the teff and separate the grain. but this was actually inspired by our first prototype, shown here, powered by a bicycle, and you can see one of our most important components is the sieve, which helps to separate the grain before it's released. But we didn't just test this prototype at San Diego State. We took it all the way to Ethiopia to prove our proof of concept. These farmers were absolutely amazed at how well this machine worked, and they were even more amazed that a group of students from California understood their problem and listened to their needs. It's exactly what I've been praying for, said one farmer. So let's quantify this new output, and I'll have to warn you, the math gets a little complicated, so I apologize. What used to take a family of 6 and a bunch of angry cows, 14 hours, now takes 2 happy stick farmers, 3.5 hours. This is a 76% increase in productivity. And currently we're working on our third prototype, which is going to include multi-grain threshing capabilities to expand our market. As for production, we've already partnered with a local steel manufacturer in Ethiopia, and because of this will give our consumers convenient access to maintenance and spare parts. And due to sourcing these local off-the-shelf materials, we've been able to reduce our production costs by 50%. One of our most important key partners in this is PCI, Project Concern International. They're a multinational nonprofit with an emphasis on helping impoverished women. And they've helped us overcome international barriers. They imported our thresher duty-free, warehoused it, and transported it for us. They're assisting with sales and distribution. PCI works with over 10,000 impoverished women in Ethiopia who have formed co-ops to generate micro-enterprises. And PCI saw our product as a very amazing opportunity for these women. So as a result, they've applied for a $50,000 grant from USAID to supplement the cost of the threshers to these women, who will in turn rent them out to local farmers, empowering themselves and lifting themselves up out of poverty. This reduces our risk by providing immediate working capital for manufacturing. Our total available market is 6.2 million small-scale teff farmers. 4 million of these have less than 2 acres of land. Our serviceable market is 5 million. But our target market for year 1 is 3,500. This includes 500 of PCI's women co-ops and the estimated 3,000 farmers in the villages surrounding Simbo. Our financial projections were a collaboration between PCI's realistic goals and our market intelligence, our experience on the ground with these farmers. Our total cost of production per unit is $100, and at a 50% profit margin, our price point is $200. Which is obtainable by most of these farmers. Now, I've got a slimmed down profit and loss statement for you to see. We're expecting 350 sales our first year. After total expenses and before tax, we're looking at a $16,000 profit. These profits are going to roll straight over to year 2. We are expecting 400 units of sales, and after expenses, a $27,000 profit. But the thing I want to emphasize here is multiple revenue streams. We have indirect sales to these women co-ops through PCI. We have our direct sales to our farmers. And third, we are going to be possibly using these as rentals ourselves, which will give us a third revenue stream. And this was actually suggested by a judge yesterday, so we're taking it into consideration. Scalability of our business will be due to its multi-threshing grain capability. Currently, wheat, millet, and barley are 3 dominant grains being grown in Ethiopia and all over Africa in the same inefficient and unsanitary way. We plan to identify these markets, introduce our product, and increase our revenues, but most importantly, our social impact. I'll talk a little bit about our management team. Before joining this venture, I was accepted into San Diego State's incubator for new entrepreneurs for a product I invented for the sports health industry. This gave me experience in product development and overseas manufacturing. Prior to San Diego State, I was in the military for 4 years. I served as a Navy medic with the Marines at Camp Pendleton. Before that, I was a wildland firefighter for 2 years. So I've been in the business of doing good and helping others for a long time, and I hope to continue that with this business. I'll be the U.S. project manager overseeing our third and final prototype, and I'll be maintaining our PCI relationships with the U.S. headquarters here. Gemechu, he's going to oversee production and sales in collaboration with PCI in Ethiopia. He will build relationships with our Ethiopian villages through our marketing program, and he will maintain relationships with the Department of Agriculture. Dominic is our lead engineer working on our third prototype. He's also the president and founder of the Society for Bioengineers, and he's an associated engineering council. Mike Sloan is our social entrepreneur in residence. He has 15 years experience in building enterprises for underserved U.S. communities, and moreover, he has 25 years of manufacturing experience in undeveloped countries. Our business model is extremely affordable, it's extremely accessible, it's scalable, and profitable. Profits are necessary, but they are secondary to our social impact. We are expecting to see a decrease in poverty for farmers, a decrease in poverty for these local women co-ops, an increase in job creation due to manufacturing, more time devoted to children's education, and an improvement in the overall health of the villages we reach. We've reached many milestones throughout this process. We've raised almost $20,000 for product development, and we've generated our proof of concept. We've identified our key partners for distribution. We've identified our key manufacturers, and we have formed government relationships with the Ethiopian Department of Ministry. This product and our venture is ready to go to market with your support. We do good, and thank you for listening.
Peter, very interesting presentation. To what degree have you secured patent and intellectual property rights on the equipment that you've created?
We have gone through the process of trying to patent our product through the incubator, through the pro bono lawyers that were offered to us at San Diego State, but they said unfortunately it's not, we cannot patent it, but for us that's not a main concern because we've established such good relationships with these communities so far, and we've listened to their needs that if another company comes in to try and take over, we've already built those relationships, and we expect our customers to stay with us. You're welcome. Yes, sir.
Nice job. Great product, great cause.
Thank you.
Well done. What I'm most curious about is how you see the $200 product itself actually being sold directly. I know you have some potentials to lease it locally, what have you, but I would think $200 is possibly a year's wage for some of those folks over there. So how do you see that working?
Through our research and by connecting with these farmers and talking to them one-on-one, we have found that $200 is an obtainable point of sale for these people. But we've also been talking to companies that will give out microloans to these farmers, and the profit that they make off of using our machine will pay for their expenses throughout the month.
That was going to be my question. Have y'all not considered being involved with the microloan?
Yeah, we've talked about it, and that's one of our next stages in when we get to our sales and distribution channels. That's definitely something that we see as a benefit and possibly necessity.
My question is, what jumped out at me was before you started talking, and I think this is great what you're doing, but before you started talking, I didn't know what TEF was. And then when I saw what it was and all the stuff you put up there on the health benefits and all of that, makes me wonder if you shouldn't be in that business. And so my question is, have you developed some sort of a royalty or some sort of way of using this machine and then sharing in the marketing of TEF itself?
That's actually one of the next phases that we've talked about. We want to offer these farmers the opportunity to use our machine to farm their TEF and to use us as a distribution channel for exporting. But due to the current situation and the situation with exporting, it's very hard right now. But most of these farmers are selling this TEF to their local villages just to support their own diets. But as soon as these farmers scale up their business, scale up their farming, because of our machine, the potential for exporting and getting these contracts is another huge profit. So we're going to look into that. Thank you.
Not having seen that much of the financial future that you foresee for this, you know, when you talk about investments, have you looked at whether a nonprofit model would be a better model for getting to market, or for at least part of what you're doing?
We really want to focus on a for-profit model, because with that we can really focus on scaling up and using our income generated to really build and grow our business. But if we need investors, there's plenty of social impact investors that we're aware of with the same mission as ours, to improve agronomics, to reduce poverty, especially in Ethiopia and Africa. So we have a long list of people that will help us down the line if we need it to scale up. Thank you.
I think you might want to know that the third place winner was Misfit Juicery from Georgetown University. The second place winner, Soletics from Grand Valley State University. First place winner, receiving $25,000 first place prize in the fifth anniversary Richards Barentine competition, is We Do Good from San Diego State University.